Well,
Hey toy fans, Aaron here. Today I thought we'd take a look at the 2014 release of Jabba's Skiff Guard. And that's it, that's his name, just Jabba's Skiff Guard. But this guy, as you can see, came out on the Black Series line, 3 3/4 inch version. So let's head to that table and check this one out. Here's a look at the card, and I've said it before, this is my least favorite card back for a Star Wars action figure. There's just nothing to it, it's not that inspiring. You just got the Star Wars Black Series logo, a little headshot off to the side of the Skiff Guard. You get the name with the number 27 for his number in the lineup, and then through that bubble, which rarely stayed attached to the card, you can see the action figure with the 2 included accessories. On the back side, not much to see here, Star Wars logo, and just beneath that, you got the name once again, along with a brief, generic description about Jabba's Skiff Guards, nothing really pertaining specifically to this figure. Below that, you got a nice artwork of various Skiff Guards riding atop the skiff. And now taking a look at the figure out of the packaging, you know, it's a simple figure. There's not much to the character's costume design, but overall I think they really nailed how this guy looked. You can't get a good look at him in the movie. Essentially, he's just wearing a black helmet with the hose running around it and a white jumpsuit. And that's what you're getting here. And just for a bit of backstory, this character is actually called Brock Starsher. That's his actual name. Why they chose to stick with just Jabba's Skiff Guard on the packaging, I have no clue. But later this fall, in 2019, you will find this figure re-released on the Vintage Collection line as part of the 3-pack of Skiff Guards. But carrying on though with this figure, looking at that helmet, you know, pretty decent detailing. You got a face mask of sorts sculpted in there. You can definitely make out a visor for the eyes, and then just some other helmet detailing. And then as I mentioned, running around the front part, you've got a hose sculpted in there. That is part of the overall helmet. It's sculpted within there, so it's not separate or anything like that. Going through the backside, you know, a little bit more design continues with the hose running inside the helmet. As far as the upper half of the figure, aside from that white jumpsuit, you do have an even brighter white hose that essentially runs from pocket to pocket. Comes out one pocket, runs around the back of his neck, and runs down into the other. A couple brown stripes painted in there on the front of the chest. Otherwise, you do have some subtle seams sculpted in there for the shirt. Aside from that, you know, lots of wrinkles sculpted in there. Black gloves on the hand. Nice belt sculpted in. Couple pouches there. As you can see, you got a little belt buckle painted in there, and even some slight dots painted in for little snaps on those pouches. Getting down through the pants, that wrinkly sculpted jumpsuit continues. You do have some brown stripes painted down the outside parts of the legs. Oddly, on the inner part of his right leg, on my action figure, it looks like they started to paint a brown stripe, and they're like, nope, that doesn't belong there. I've looked online, various photos. I haven't seen another figure that had that painted in there. So I guess I'm a millionaire, right? That's worth $1 million. Don't I wish? Carrying on though, those boots, you know, good sculpting there. Essentially you got some wrinkles sculpted in, especially around the bend of the ankle. And what looks like some weathering, maybe? It's like this off-white yellowish color painted in. Maybe that's supposed to be sand. So the articulation, the head is on a ball joint. So, of course, you're going to get your swiveling, decent range of motion forward and back, and you got a fair amount of movement side to side. So overall, the head articulation's working out pretty good. At the shoulders, each one is going to swivel all the way around, hinge out at 90 degrees. Each of the elbows have a good 90-degree bend, and of course, you got your swiveling with those. Each wrist only swivels, no side to side or up and down movement with that. As for the waist, right above that belt, you've got your swiveling in there. With those hoses, though, attached down below the waist, you're not doing a full 360, but you still got a decent range of motion there for the figure. Legs swivel straight out and straight back, so no problem with the hoses being attached hindering that movement. Single bend at the knee, and then each knee also swivels around. And for the feet, you can move them back and even go forward a little bit, and then they do swivel at that ankle. As for accessories, he's got 2 of them. First up is Vibro Axe. You know, like I said, even with the Lando figure that I just reviewed, we've seen this staff a bunch of times. And at various points in its release, it is just a tiny bit different than the other ones. In this case, it is molded in like this off bronze colored plastic with maybe this pearlized sheen to it. Kind of see some light sparkles in there that catches the light from time to time. Otherwise, though, no special painting or anything to it. And then the other accessory he comes with is his blaster. It is molded in the same color as that Vibro Axe. And here also, no other special painting or anything. The blaster fits well in either hand, but you don't get a holster to place this blaster into. So if you don't want to display him holding this blaster, maybe he can give it to a friend that didn't come with a blaster. Lando might appreciate that. So overall for me, this is a good looking figure. It's simple, but it's effective. It is what it needs to be. The character has a pretty unique design, and I think Hasbro executed that pretty well, translating that into an action figure. As I mentioned earlier, this figure is going to get a re-release in the Vintage Collection line, so if this is one that you want to add to your collection and don't want to try and search for one, you're going to get another shot at it later this year. That wraps up this look at Jabba's Skiff Guard. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this figure in the comment section below, and as always, thanks for watching.